right, fans? It's your old pal Uncle Ghoulie here again, and welcome back to another fun-filled graveyard bash here on Horror Incorporated. This week, let your fingers do the walking as we present the 1963 feature, The Crawling Hand. It's another late 50s, early 60s teen possessed by a monster flick, and while it's not particularly well made, it does offer more than its fair share of entertainment. Perhaps not in quite the way the filmmakers had intended, but...
Joy of joy, sir. Another of the so bad it's good school of film appreciation we so often revel in around here.
Absolutely, Carbuncle. Absolutely. And while The Crawling Hand neither reaches for nor attains quite the level of ludicrousness the best of the work of Ed Wood does, it is still kind of giddily entertaining in its own way.
Yes, sir. Nothing but the best for us here at Horror Incorporated. Nothing like showing well-made, professionally crafted movies for us here.
Right you are, Carbuncle. It's what I call the cheese quotient, and why this week's film is all but slopping over with it.
Ah, yes. Another glowing recommendation, sir.
That's right. 2 thumbs way up.
Up what, sir?
It's best we don't go into that.
Yes, I imagine so. But I do have a strong suspicion that before the end of the program there'll be at least one crawling hand creeping about the place. And an even stronger suspicion that one of them will be mine.
Probably, Carbuncle. Probably.
Of course, sir.
Hey, Uncle Ghoulie.
Oh, if it isn't my favorite niece, 13, up from the vault with this week's movie.
And it is.
That's right. I have here. Ah, yes, The Crawling Hand. Why, this film has everything. It's got dismembered body parts. It's got sullen, moody teens in their 30s. It's got another indecipherable Swedish accent, acting way off the charts. So it's a veritable masterpiece.
Cool. Sounds like my kind of movie.
It is. Ah, Gordon, old man. Gordon, old man, what do you say we go on up to the booth and spool this baby up, huh? There you go. We're in for a treat.
Don't tell me, let me guess. You're off to wreak untold havoc on an innocent and unsuspecting public at large.
Pretty much, yeah.
Dare I say you're getting most predictable?
I prefer to think of it as reliable. Besides, the damage I inflict is always creative.
True. I suppose I must give you that. As you have been warned, this week's Horror Incorporated film is the 1963 mess of a monster mash, The Crawling Hand, or some such nonsense. And as if it made any difference to anyone watching, the film stars Peter Breck doing his best James Dean impression, Kent Taylor, Rod Lauren, Alan Skipper Hale Jr., and introduces the sex iceberg, Siri Steffen.
Not to mention the 50-foot woman herself, Allison Hayes. Yowza! Although she is completely wasted in this film. Nice to know, isn't it, that back in the 1960s, the space program had a seemingly endless supply of disposable astronauts they could send up into space, ever ready to encounter whatever monsters, space viruses, mind-bending insanity, and almost certain death the vast reaches of space could hurl at them.
It's even nicer to know that no matter what horrible fate befell the first astronaut, the next was simply waiting in line to meet a similarly horrible fate.
That's right, 13, and with that in mind, we here at Horror Incorporated thought it would be fun
and funny
to send our friend Carbuncle here into space and see what kind of horrible fate worse than death befalls him.
Now, really, sir, wouldn't it be more appropriate to send Master Gordon into space instead of myself? As I do believe they frequently shot monkeys into space, didn't they, sir?
Don't be ridiculous.
Besides, that big smelly ape would be less likely than you are to break down and start sobbing like a little schoolgirl at the first sign of trouble.
Absolutely.
Ah, yes. I suppose you do have a point.
Of course I do. You know, we want to get our ratings up, and what better way to get them up than to broadcast your terrified, cowardly blubbering on live television?
Absolutely. Anything for the cause, I believe, sir. So, now where shall I find my pressurized spacesuit?
Oh, we forgot to tell you. To add to your terror, you're not getting one.
That's right, of course not.
No, of course not. How silly of me to have even asked.
What's the matter?
He took that a little too well.
You know, he did at that. Maybe we should send Gordon up with him to ensure that he goes into a girlish crybaby hissy fit on live coast-to-coast television.
Yeah, and while they're both in space, I can rifle through their things.
You go, girl. Oh, I love it how these things always work themselves out. We're just moments away, Fright fans, from the historical launching of Carbuncle and Gordon the Gorilla into outer space. And, by extension, a few more moments away from Carbuncle's complete mental and emotional collapse on live television through the miracle of early 60s technology.
I'll have you know, sir, that while I am doing this silly stunt entirely without protest,
It's good of you.
for the good of the show, I do question the wisdom of shooting us into space merely for reasons of entertainment.
It'd be ridiculous.
Well, I spoke to the people at Tang, and they're not interested in doing any sort of promotional tie-in.
Really?
Nope. In fact, they said they'd sue you for everything you've got if the Tang name were in any way connected to this idiotic, self-serving, and highly dangerous stunt. Sorry.
Well, I guess then we have to wash the huge Tang logo off the side of the rocket, even though Gordon here spent all that time doing a great job painting it there in the first place.
Ah, so I take it the mission is scrubbed then, sir?
Oh, nothing doing. You're not getting off that easily.
Of course not, sir.
No, if nothing else, a major lawsuit will give us added publicity. Leave the Tang logo in place. 13 to the rocket.
This is our chance, you realize, to make our escape. No, you want to go. Oh, dear, well, I suppose this was going to happen sooner or later. Oh, yes.
Now, Gordon, you realize, of course, that you're not only taking one small step for mankind, but a giant leap for mankind dressed as a gorilla in a spacesuit. Very good. Now, you know, I'd go with you myself, but somebody has to stay here and stay alive in case something should go wrong. Now, you sure you have everything you need? You've got the bland, flavorless space food. Okay, you got your toothbrush, you've got your footy pajamas, you got your girly magazines, you got your super sugar-encrusted, hyper-sweetened Uncle Ghoulie cereal, got a change of underwear, and... Oh, that's right, I forgot. You don't wear underwear. Well, looks like you're all set and ready to go to be the first gorilla shot up into space. Now, let's hope that Carbuncle is just as ready as you are. Well, are you?
Am I what, sir?
Are you ready for the space flight?
Yes. As ready as I shall ever be to embark on this most foolhardy of missions. Yes, sir.
Well, good. Now, just remember, Carbuncle, that you'll be making television, or at least Horror Incorporated, history here.
Yes. That's very comforting, sir. It almost assuages my fears.
Nothing to worry about. But on a completely unrelated topic, are your dental records all up to date?
Well, I do believe so, sir, but what does that have to do with anything?
No. Let's not prolong this any further. Let's get this thing rolling. Now beat it. Off they go, those two brave lads. And for you watching at home, don't worry. There's absolutely nothing that can go wrong with this. They'll both return home safe and sound. But if anyone out there is looking for a place to stay, I may know of a couple rooms that will be available for rent very, very soon.
Okay, I lit this thing. Now what?
Well, that's the engine to the rocket. You shouldn't have lit it yet. Why?